I've never seen it.
I would say we have a relatively easy transition.
Yes.
Here with Michael J. Feldman, who has never seen Eyes Wide Shut. Mm-hmm. Matt, have you seen Eyes Wide Shut?
Yeah, I have.
You have seen Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah, but I don't know if I've ever seen all of it in one sitting.
Interesting.
Because it freaks me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll try and get to the script here. I don't think we've ever done this movie, which is wild.
Very
We're so
excited.
far in.
Because I realized I had no idea about Eyes Wide Shut, and I also have no idea about straight orgies. So it was a lot of fun to work on this. Which is all I think about when I think about that movie.
I mean, you're probably not that far off. When I think about who killed the Boeing whistleblower, that's his, like at this party kind of person is making these decisions.
Exactly.
I took a Stanley Kubrick class in college, and so we watched all the Kubrick movies and talked about them for a while, and this was the last one, and I remember so little about it because it was up towards the end of the year, and you're just ready for school. Like, you're like, oh, it's almost the end.
So you went in the order?
Yeah, we like chronological order or whatever, and this is an odd one to watch with a class.
Yeah.
I could imagine.
Everyone come sit here after, you know what I mean, at like 6 p.m. on a Sunday and watch Eyes Wide Shut and then turn on fluorescent lights and leave one at a time type of like energy. But, well, let's get right into the script. Is there what do you think, or is there anything you want to preface? I know this, straight orgies.
Yeah, straight orgies, and that's about. I didn't look up their names. I came up with names, character names, but I was pretty sure that Tom Cruise was a doctor.
I'm like one word into it, and I'm like, I hope you didn't look up their names, because if this is what they were, I don't respect Kubrick anymore.
I just knew he was a doctor, and straight orgies and masks.
Okay.
So that's about it. So
man.
This is the only thing. This is actually the movie I think about if someone mentions Nicole Kidman. This is like what I think about first for Nicole. Well, unfortunately, I think Nicole Kidman knows what we all think about first if you mention her now, which is the AMC intro.
Yes. Yep.
But second to that is this movie where I think she was like just the best performance. Okay, so
maybe not so much in this.
We'll see.
So I will. I'll read the part of Annie Ambrosian,
Okay.
Nicole Kidman. I think of Matt doing Casper.
Okay.
And Dr. Casper Ambrosian. And
Dr. Casper Ambrosian is such like a Grey's Anatomy 2-episode arc character.
Yeah, just comes in hot.
And I'll read the stage directions. And Donna Siegelman.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Donna Siegelman.
Yes. Who comes in halfway through.
I'm just grabbing a little pen real quick. And feeling good. I'm
All right.
so excited. All right, whenever you're ready.
Interior, the Ambrosians' residence, New York, night. Fade up on a beautiful, complicated, and emotionally caged woman, Annie Ambrosian. Think Nicole Kidman, as she stares longingly out of her penthouse floor-to-ceiling window at a storm raging outside. She audibly sighs, a little too loud, hungry for a bit of attention. She glances over her shoulder at a man sitting in a chair, quietly reading the Wall Street Journal. This is Casper Ambrosian. Think Tom Cruise, a neurotic, hapless husk of a man who is much more interested in intellectual pursuits than pursuits of the flesh, for now. Annie sighs again, this time louder and longer. Casper speaks without looking up from his paper.
I heard you sigh the first time.
Oh? Was I sighing?
You've been sighing all evening, looking at that damn rain.
Weird. I guess I must have a bit of unfulfillment deep within me. Casper finally puts the paper down and looks at Annie.
Annie, darling, are you thinking about what I think you're thinking about?
Depends. What do you think I'm thinking about?
If you're thinking about what I'm thinking you're thinking about, then I'd rather not say.
Fine. Long, awkward pause. Finally.
You're thinking about a straight orgy, aren't you?
Of course I'm thinking about a straight orgy.
God!
I can't help it, Caspi. She once again looks out the window longingly. It just feels like everyone's at a straight orgy tonight but us.
Well, it is the 4th Tuesday of September when all straight people have straight orgies.
Annie lets out a deep, pained sigh. Ugh.
Damn it, Annie, we've been over this. I'm Dr. Casper Ambrosian, Midtown Manhattan's #1 hepatologist. I can't be seen at a straight orgy.
You never want to do anything fun anymore.
Some might say reading the Wall Street Journal in silence is fun.
He goes back to reading the paper. Ah, my mother was right. I can't take you anywhere, especially not a straight orgy.
Tell you what, how about you go without me? And then you can come home and tell me all about it as I eat my favorite sandwich, American cheese on toasted white bread.
But we have to go together. You have to go in pairs. Those are the rules of all straight orgies.
Well, I'm sorry for not knowing the rules of straight orgies. I'm a hepatologist, not an orgy attendant, client, panelist.
Please, Caspi, I'm curious.
Well, I'm curious what roast beef on sourdough with a little mustard would taste like, but I'm never gonna do it, because I know I love American cheese on toasted white bread. So why, in God's name, would I ever need to taste a sandwich other than that, huh?
And he looks out the window again, sulking. Casper softens.
Annie, you know what happens when I go to straight orgies. My hands shake uncontrollably. God forbid anyone recognized me. My career would be over. They'd say, wow, look at that hepatologist and his shaky, shaky hands. He must be the worst hepatologist with hands that shake like that. Besides, where are we going to get an invite so late in the evening?
Annie immediately turns to Casper without missing a beat, pulls an invite out of her bra. The Siegelmans on the 3rd floor are hosting one right now. They invited us earlier today.
The Siegelmans? But isn't Donna Siegelman a
hepatologist? Yes. Yes, she is.
Oh, I had no idea.
Casper gives it some thought, slowly coming around. Annie watches him hopeful and aroused as we smash to apartment hallway outside the Siegelman's door later. Ding dong! The door swings open to reveal Donna Siegelman wearing a Mardi Gras mask resplendent in yellow and black feathers covering the top half of her face and nothing else. She laughs uproariously, finishing a conversation with someone off screen behind her.
Oh, Bob, that's the best Seinfeld impersonation I've ever heard.
She turns to face Casper and Annie.
Oh, what a surprise. You made it.
Donna smiles wide. Annie smiles. Casper forces a smile and steels himself.
Yes, we are here for the straight orgy.
You don't have to say straight here, Dr. Ambrosian. You can just say orgy.
Oh, okay. Orgy. Sounds so weird.
It'll get easier, I promise.
She smiles and hands 2 Mardi Gras masks to Casper and Annie. Casper's hands begin shaking uncontrollably.
Oh.
Donna notices.
Oh, my, Dr. Ambrosian, your hands are acting perfectly normal given this situation.
Donna smiles. Casper smiles, genuine, feeling safe. Annie smiles at Casper with a look of, see, I told you everything would be fine. Casper and Annie don the masks and enter. The Siegelman's apartment continuous. We've now entered into a world of fun. It feels like Dorothy emerging in the colorful world of Oz for the very first time. Flashing rainbow lights ricochet off the endless sea of brightly colored balloons that float about the space. A snack table filled with an assortment of candies and cakes sit to their right. We hear tons of laughter and revelry coming from off screen. Yes, we have arrived at a straight orgy.
Oh, man.
Annie and Casper take in the space with wonder. Suddenly, a naked couple wearing only Mardi Gras masks and nothing else run past, chasing each other, giggling.
Hey, slow down, you two.
She laughs and shakes her head.
What am I going to do with those two? Anyway, follow me. I'll show you to the different rooms.
Bedroom 1, moments later. Donna opens the bedroom door, revealing a foursome playing double Dutch jump rope. 2 men wearing Mardi Gras masks and nothing else repeatedly jump in the center as 2 women wearing Mardi Gras masks and nothing else turn the rope on both ends. A sizable group of people around them quietly watch and moan at the jump rope scene. Everyone in the group wears Mardi Gras masks and nothing else. Oh, Caspi, can we please?
If this isn't quite your speed, how about our next room?
Bedroom 2, moments later. Donna, Casper, and Annie watch as the most intense group fucking you've ever seen on the silver screen unfolds mere feet away from them. Flashes of skin on skin on skin, a cacophony of moans, groans, grunts, and grundles. Everyone keeps their masks on, which causes the mask to bend and twist violently as faces and tongues are forced into various parts of the body. This is the sight audiences have been waiting for since they first saw the trailer. This is the scene everyone will be talking about. This is the scene that just might kill the director mere days after completing the movie. Caspi, wouldn't you just love to dive right into all of it? Annie stops short as she sees Casper's hands shaking. Donna notices too.
You know what? I think I know just the room for you.
Interior bedroom 3 moments later. Donna enters, followed by Annie and Casper. Casper hesitantly walks in, nervous to what he'll find after being witness to the previous fuckfest bacchanalia. Then, Casper's face lights up as he takes in the room.
Whoa.
Reverse angle reveal. Several naked people wearing no masks move quickly around the space, fumbling to and fro with their arms out and their eyes tightly closed.
Everyone's eyes are wide shut.
That's right, Dr. Ambrosian. This is our eyes wide shut room. Every orgy has one, for folks who like to be a bit more discreet.
The group of closed-eyed naked people suddenly stop in their tracks at the same time and turn their heads towards Donna, Casper, and Annie. Keeping their eyes closed, they all wave hello at the exact same time. It's creepy. It's Kubrickian. Caspi, I'm not so sure about this room.
Are you kidding? This is heaven.
Casper beams as he closes his eyes tight. Annie glances down, angle on Casper's hands that are perfectly still and calm. And that's eyes wide shut. Yep.
Oh. Nailed it, right?
Nailed it, definitely nailed it.
I'm excited to see it.
I would say to the point we might get flagged for copyright infringement.
Sure.
There's a few things that I think have never been written in that order in the history of the language before. There's a specific Donna phrase. I was like, no one has ever. Oh, isn't Donna Siegelman a hepatologist? Yes, she is. I'm like, well, no one's ever said those words in that order with that tone before.
Also, by the way, I realized the snack table should have American cheese on toasted white bread there. So, yeah.
Let's go.
Little
all right.
rewrite.
We'll
Yeah.
go back
know.
to one.
Yeah. Go back to the top. We're so sorry, listeners.
But that's the stuff you
Kubrickian,
get at
you
the
know,
table
it's
reads.
perfectionist,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? I'm sure there'd be little hints to the moon landing plopped throughout.
Yes.
Or whatever he had recently staged. Maybe the OJ trial. I couldn't think of anything from the 90s.
That's why I had that one Seinfeld reference.
Yeah. I was like, what is topical at all? I understood what happened in this more than Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah. This was a cleaner line for me.
There seemed to be less interference in the production of this.
Yep.
It seemed to be less ego involved.
Yeah.
Long monologues, appropriate.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of
I'm
close.
excited to see it.
I mean, you go watch it.
Yeah.
I have no idea if it holds up in
I
any
don't either.
capacity at all.
I honestly didn't even think about Kubrick or paying off Kubrick until that final, they all turn and it's creepy.
And
like,
with the
yeah.
eyes shut waving
Okay,
is
so-
very much, there's like a
Yes.
few of those everyone in the masks turn moments in
Yeah.
the movie and
Yeah.
everything.
So I'm like, okay, I have to pay that off.
I mean, I'm not sure if there's a rated R movie X maybe even when it came out.
I think it was NC-17.
NC-17.
'cause that's what I remember. It was NC-17, but then they
X, I think, doesn't
Got it
quite
down
exist
to
in the same way in the
Yeah.
90s and aughts as it did in like the 60s, 70s. But I think, I don't know if there's ever been a movie with this rating satirized as much as this has been. I'm saying, thinking like by The Simpsons,
Yeah.
or something like that. Where I'm like, we all kind of know about this movie that we all claimed we didn't see.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Well, it was also one of the last ones that they were together for, right? Or they broke up in
I think this might have been the movie that the relationship was formulated for. Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise. I say formulated. Maybe they liked each other.
Maybe.
She seemed. I know the photo of her leaving the court from signing the divorce papers is like a famous photo of Nicole Kidman that looks like she just won a gold medal. Like she's very happy leaving.
Yeah, it was like 10, 11 years or something crazy.
It is that right. That's some of the earlier tabloidy feeling things I knew about.
Yeah.
Where I was like, those people are married and it's fake.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
And then I see how like my parents interact. I'm like, I could see it.
Yeah.
Did they have a kid?
Yeah.
Because I could see why they'd be hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not into like pop culture that much that I would like follow what was going on with like
Yeah.
big celebrities and stuff. My mom loved that shit.
Yeah.
And so I remember like hearing from the other room like, oh my God. And like it had just been announced
that they broke
were-
up or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
it
was
was.
It was in 2001. So like, you
I know. Some would say the worst thing to happen that year.
Yeah,
Really,
The reason why you say, oh my God, from
a
the other
second
room.
marriage has hit the courthouse.
Yeah.
I believe is what they said. Yeah, I don't remember thinking. It wasn't anything I ever really thought about, but this was just such a big thing, and it's so funny that it's for a movie that wasn't really accessible. It just felt very different.
Yeah.
But there was not that many people we all knew about then.
And apparently it became a cult classic. I don't think it did well when it came out because there was so much going on in the world.
I feel similar. I mean, that's
And,
a
like,
funny time to
and
release
Kubrick
like a
died.
slow burn,
Yeah.
high society movie. Like, hey, could you guys believe in conspiracy theories? And everyone's like, we're getting ready to believe them
Yeah,
Yeah.
forever.
buckle
now.
up.
This was the turning point.
I want to see. Maybe I'll even have the brightness up on my computer. 99, the movie came out.
Yeah.
I knew that. I know there's all this weird development stuff I remember from school, it was like a film class at the school, and one whole semester was the Kubrick stuff. So it was a lot of breaking down like what he invented and developed, and a lot of not talking about him, the human being. School.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. Critical response, people liked it. 76% rating, 7.5 out of 10 Metacritic rating. I think it's a movie where people really, I don't think it clicked all the way. And older, I would say the more pretentious the reviewer, the more they liked the movie.
Yeah.
Would be my wide brush that I would probably paint with.
Because like they understood the,
It is a good
narrative, even though it was
movie to
clear.
point to be like, I do like fake movie jokes a lot online, and so like that's what becomes in my feed is real movie critics and stuff. And this is now, so if you're 20, Kubrick being your favorite filmmaker is a cool thing, right? Sort of like Christopher Nolan has kind of become that same thing for like film bro, kind of like.
it's like, you just don't get it.
Right,
You don't
and
like
this
it,
is the one where people are like, actually, Eyes Wide Shut's my favorite Kubrick film, and I'll be like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Like we all know it isn't. He made all these great ones, and there's a lot of cool stuff in this one. I remember there being like very blatant rear projection of Tom Cruise walking, not even driving. Like the driving thing is easier to hide with windows, but it's Tom Cruise like walking through a city, and it's just a rear projection screen, and he's on a treadmill.
Whoa.
And it's very it makes it like because then he can adjust the depth and everything of all the buildings. It's very trippy, and I thought that was cool. And then Nicole Kidman has just like the greatest. I cannot imagine being an acting teacher in 2000. The amount of times people did Nicole Kidman's monologue from this, which is her confessing a cheating fantasy that she had to Tom Cruise.
I missed it completely.
But you kind of got like these
Yeah.
big long speeches about what's important. I think you were there.
Okay, all right.
And I think that once again, we didn't talk about it in my class because you can't know that a filmmaker's bad. Apparently she had to do it like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. And then they put like the second take in the movie or something like that. And you're just like, what are we doing?
That's awful.
Like, see, yeah, but she's very good.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that about the monologue because as I was writing, I was like, oh, does this want to maybe be, it's just like Annie having like a 2-page monologue and at the end of it trying to make her case to go to this third floor
You
orgy.
are-
And he's like, okay.
I don't. It is not that. That is she like, and it shows her fantasy and stuff, and it's like this very, very explicit, especially I guess in a movie in 1999 in theaters moment that now would probably just seem like a normal amount of talking.
Yeah.
But I remember liking it. I never revisited it.
It scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And there was like such a push for it, and like all the news around, I was like, okay, I got to see it. And then it would be on HBO all the time, and it was like you couldn't stream, so it would be on. And I want to watch this movie because it's so horny. Like I just want to, like I want to see what this is about. And then that like those keys, like the piano, just like dissonant, like bing, that thing, and then the mask slowly turning. I was so torn between terror and attraction that I really struggled.
Sets you up
to
for
get-
life,
Yeah.
pretty much.
yeah, that's how I've operated since. Too.
Yep.
I'm always like, oh,
I'm like a big fan of filmmakers. Once you've made some stuff, being able to be as self-indulgent and for yourself as you'd like to be, because then I'm like, I could still just go back and rewatch the other stuff, But if they hit with this crazy self-indulgent stuff, it's like the best that there ever is.
Yeah.
And so this felt very much like the no one has said no to me in 30 years.
And
type
he
of
said it was
movie.
his best. I think he said it was his biggest contribution to cinema out of everything that he made.
I guess if us all realizing Tom Cruise is not tall was his biggest like thing that he contributed to cinema, or like at least exposing that he's weird to be in a relationship with
Yeah.
might be his most important contribution.
He was also days away from death.
Yeah.
Maybe, cut him some slack.
Yeah. And then after this, what he was like had been loosely working on AI, and I think Spielberg finished that, and that's such an odd person I feel like to take over from you, but maybe not at the same time.
Which maybe deserves a rewatch right now. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I've actually ever seen it.
I have never seen it either, but now it feels like now more than ever, right? Like,
I think if for pretty much all of Kubrick's movies, while I think they're great, a lot of them I think are very great, and he's really in that, like, I've defined a lot of genres with the things that he's done. They all could have used 5% of Steven Spielberg. They all, with maybe the exception of The Shining, which doesn't feel like, but I'm like, man, if Spielberg had just directed a little bit of the action in Full Metal Jacket, this would have been, if it was a little closer to Saving Private Ryan, I think I could have enjoyed it a little bit more if all of these were a little bit more for people.
it's fair. It's fair.
But, I like them, like, this Spielberg guy, he's on to something. Although I don't know.
It really connects with the masses,
Well, great. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be right back.
Great job on Casper.
Oh, that was so good.
Thanks.
That is-
It's all there. I didn't do anything.
That's a
It's on
top
the page.
5 character name in the history of the podcast,
It's
I would say.
incredible.
I don't even know. I'm like worried to pull up the character names and think they're like man, woman, and like old. You know what I mean? Like the way that
I think it was Bill for him. I looked
Bill
after.
Harford, Alice
Yeah.
Harford. Sidney
I knew that
Pollack
he was a
does play a
doctor.
rich person in it. I forgot.
He would have been a good Donna
They had that
Siegelman.
billiard. They're like at the billiard table, and the girl that like it's so intense.
Are we remembering the movie how he would have wanted us to, as like a fever dream of scenes and visuals?
I guess.
I think that I love just projecting too much intent on someone.
That's what he wanted, right? Yeah.
Made $162 million. Bill Hartford. Casper is a much better name.
Yeah, come on.
Ambrosian.
God.
Does that mean something?
Nope. Annie Ambrosian sounded so
It
good
does
to me.
sound great.
So at first I was going to call him Mark. I'm like, no, he's not a Mark. He's
He
definitely
is not a
He,
Mark.
the person, potentially is a mark, but I don't know. I think that maybe this is how we're supposed to remember Eyes Wide Shut.
in
It's
New
just-
York and penthouses. It just all felt very.
You could convince me
familiar.
they never even mention it's New York. They might not. I don't remember. It clearly is.
Yeah.
It like very clearly is, but you could convince me it's supposed to be ambiguous large city or something like this. Once again, I'm just like projecting so much onto him.
Yeah.
Rear projecting it because he's dead.
Yeah. There you go.
Anyways. All right. In honor of it being your first time on the podcast, we're going to do a quick game here, kind of the new guest game, where I'm going to ask you some questions, and you're actually going to have to each guess what the other person will answer,
Oh,
Great.
shit.
if that makes sense.
We know each
Yeah.
other a little too well. So maybe
Yeah,
this will be
Oh,
good.
perfect
Yeah.
then. So I will,
You're gonna do
Matt.
such
I'm
a
going to
better
ask
job.
you the first. Matt, I'll ask you what you believe Michael will answer.
Okay.
And we'll go through here.
Oh,
We'll do
no.
some pretty quick questions. We call this the newly guest game. Okay, we'll start simple here. What will Michael say is his favorite movie?
Ooh.
Michael, you can even think of like 3 if you want, that I would all consider correct answers.
I really don't know. I mean, I have so many ideas. I mean, Michael and I saw the Super Mario Brothers movie together, and that was, and I know how much I know that meant a lot to him.
I would imagine the hasn't seen Eyes Wide Shut remembers distinctly seeing Mario movie.
Yeah.
This is a pretty big middle of the Venn diagram there.
Yeah. I'd say either of the Mario Brothers movies
Wow, either.
would be way up there.
I'm going to go with the first Super Mario movie actually made me so vehemently angry. Because I remember as a child, I was obsessed with Super Mario. And I was like, oh my God, there's a Mario movie coming out. This is great. And then I sat there and I'm like, this is not Super Mario. I was so angry.
You were hoping to feel how we were talking about Fallout earlier.
Yeah, I
where
was
we
like,
were just like, yeah.
Goombas are big heads, small bodies, not small heads, big bodies. What are they doing?
It was an odd choice.
So you're exactly the opposite. Do I say what I?
Yeah, you can say, yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch, but the first thing that always comes to mind when people ask what's your favorite movie is Happiness by Todd Solondz.
Yeah.
It is
Close.
just- yeah. Do you know that movie?
I think I do. Is it like so dark?
So dark.
You monster. I hate that
Come on,
movie.
you know me.
I know, but that's
I
why
know you would hate that movie.
Oh my God.
Dark, and it's called Happiness.
Yeah, I remember.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
Now, Philip Seymour Hoffman as Super Mario.
Not no.
I think we all could have got behind, or I guess Jesse Plemons at this point.
Sure.
Yes.
Philip Seymour Hoff boy.
Over Chris Pratt, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, kids love the Mario movie. I
Just-
thought the animated one was all right. I had a fine time. It was
fun.
It was fun to watch with a
Yeah.
bunch of kids.
We were on
as
edibles.
weird as
It
that
was
Yeah,
sounds.
yeah.
That's
It's a
kind of how
ball.
I was.
We had a ball.
I actually distinctly remember seeing the Mario movie. Here's my podcast gripe because Starburns Audio, the former network of this, called me as I was walking in and told me they were not a company anymore and bye, and that was it.
Whoa.
So I was like, 5:05 p.m. on a Friday. Yeah, I know what you're doing, telling me this right now, so there's no follow-up questions.
That's how you went into that movie?
Went into the Mario movie so down.
I have a really dark movie story, just so fast.
Yes.
It was.
We are not in a hurry.
This is really dark, so like trigger warning. We were going. It was my family and my parents, my brother and I, and my girlfriend at the time went to see the new Ninja Turtle movie when it came out. Like
The one last year with the
no. This is like for years ago.
live action.
Like the live action, like hybrid, like their anime. Like I think it was the Michael
so
Bay
good.
one. Like it was crazy, right? But it was like the first new Ninja Turtle movie in a long time. So we went, and my brother and I are like so excited for it, and like even like no matter what, like it's just the turtles. Like we're excited. And we're sitting there, and it's like we were back east, like all this stuff. And as the lights are going down, my girlfriend turns to me and goes, "Robin Williams just killed himself." And I went, "What?" And then it was like dun dun dun, and the movie started. I was like, "What did you just say to me? What did you just say to me? What did you just say to me?" And then I said, I was like, "How? Why? Did he? Is that true? Is it real?"
Oh
And
my
The
God.
whole movie,
no.
I was like,
so you can't look at Ninja Turtles anymore.
"How a bummer." It was awful.
Oh man.
Oh no! I love
Wait.
that. Hey, this thing you love, I won't give you enough information about it. See you
Yep.
in 2 hours.
Yep.
It's like telling you before you get on a flight in the 80s.
It was awful.
It's like good and sit with your thoughts now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that Screw Loose?
Well, I
And
hope
will
he's
be taken
okay.
off?
Right.
I think that we can just start. I saw the Ninja Turtles movie last year, and I really, really liked it, the animated one. And I'm just like, can we just stop making live action stuff that doesn't need to be?
Yep.
I don't need like Uncanny Valley sort of turtle. I don't need to think about how this would look in real life.
Nope.
Just make a cool animated
Just
thing.
make a great movie.
But that original, like, I
I've
have
fallen
such
and I can't
nostalgia.
get up, and yeah.
But
just
the
love that
practical, right? Is that what you
Yeah,
mean? Like the
yeah.
first, the first Turtles movie,
Like
and
the
then-
very first,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
before Michael Bay.
See, for a minute, I once again reverted to that original one, and I was like, I don't think they'd even made Aladdin yet. What information she gave you in 1990 when the Ninja Turtles movie was going?
Right.
She's like, Robin Williams is going to kill himself in 17 years. And you're like, what the heck?
Who are you? yeah.
And then you just see THX audio pop up on the thing. Okay. All right, here we go. Next one. What will Michael say is the last movie he did or considered walking out of?
Whoa. One of his favorite movies.
Or has never?
Happiness.
Maybe Steadfast will never walk out of a movie.
I don't know if he ever would walk out of a movie. I think he would white knuckle his way through and log every gripe so he could do better.
So much more personal than just leaving.
I think so. I think he'd be like, no, I'm going to learn from this, and I'm going to watch every misstep they make.
Or if I learned anything from my parents, it's hold a grudge.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
what I'm gonna
Well, if I leave now, I can't be mad about more at them later.
Yeah.
Sure. Is that right?
I don't think I ever walked out of a movie.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Walking out of a movie.
Because then you'd also go like, someone's going to see me walk out of this movie, and then they'll be mad at me.
Oh, actually, yeah, you just reminded me of
Really?
this real story. Yeah, the one time that I did, it was at the Melbourne Film Festival back in like 2007 or something. I was in a short film. It was a Melbourne LGBT film festival. I was in a short film and came over from here, and so I was like one of the only people from the States to come. So I actually was like talking before and giving like a little talk before all the film started, and so everybody knew who like saw me, you know. So I go in, so I sit down, so I like have to sit through all of them. Mine goes, it goes great. The next one goes, it's fine. The next one goes. And it starts, oh man, I don't even know where to begin. It starts as like this, it almost felt like a 90210, like young adult, upbeat kind of like high school setting. And then it just goes fucking bonkers and really dark. And just, it's out of nowhere about this like, from what I remember, I blocked a lot of it out of it, but it was like this predator who like got this guy to come over and did, I won't mention too much on this podcast, but it did for the first, I got sick. I actually like felt nauseous, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna vomit if I stay here, but I felt so bad to leave. So I'm like sitting there like sweating, and as soon as the credits rolled, I'm like, I whispered to my friend who directed me in the short film, like, I gotta run, I'm about to vomit. And so I ran out, and you have to run past the screen, and I'm running past the screen, and the world is spinning. And I get to the turn, and I get to the hallway to run out of the theater, and the next thing I know, boom, I fall face first on the wall. And I like I'm like, what's going on? And then the next thing I remember feeling was, boom, I fall in the wall again. It felt like my glasses shattered off my face. And then I just fell on the floor. And I came to like a minute later, and people were over me and said, like, are you okay? That was the first and only time that I passed out. I had no idea.
God.
If I just stayed in my seat, it would have been fine. Yeah. But I had no idea I thought I needed to vomit. And I just passed out. And my friend was like, yeah, I thought somebody like hit like a cart into the wall. That was your face.
That was because it was so loud and
so
like
loud,
jarring.
just like
oh
my
God.
face just planted into the wall.
Oh my God.
And the security guard picked me up, and he was so angry at me because he thought I was drunk. And I'm like, no, it was the movie. It was really disturbing. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That would have been an odd poll if you got that question right.
Yeah. If I was like, I feel like maybe, and then I told that entire story
and then,
to someone, just as a
so
guess.
You haven't walked out of a movie, but you have ran into out of a movie.
Ran into out of a movie, yes. And I remember it was like karma, because I was so excited to go, because I'm like, it's an LGBT film festival. I'm going to be like the foreigner. I'll be like the sexy farter.
Yeah.
And that was the first night, and I split my lip open on the wall.
And now you're wall guy the rest of the festival.
I'm wall guy with like a giant scab on my mouth.
You're Ryan Gosling as wall guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Very different movie.
Wow. All right. What will Michael say is a movie he disagrees with everyone on, he considers overrated?
Ooh. I don't know. Maybe Star Wars or something like that. Some like I'm just going to say Star Wars, A New Hope specifically, because I feel like he just doesn't care about it.
Okay.
You got me on that one, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's overrated. I'm not
You don't
into
care.
it.
Ambivalent.
I'm ambivalent. And I this one part of my life that I I feel bad about, because I feel like just looking at me, I should be the type that cares about Star Wars and Star Trek.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, no, I'm sorry. It's just
That's
not.
why I gave our friendship a chance to
Yeah,
begin with.
I'm sorry.
The other stuff has kept me around, but I was like, I bet that dude likes Star Wars too. Do you think something? Do you have one that you think is overrated? A movie?
That's a great question. Like, I'm typically the one who always am like, I'm into what most people are into.
Sure.
So I'm not the like go against the grain. Like, yeah, no, I thought that was overrated. So yeah, like nothing really.
I like the idea of like not for me or doesn't click more than like overrated or something
Yeah.
like that, because I actually think everyone's becoming a little bit less contrarian as fun.
Yeah.
And I think that's a positive thing.
Yeah, I
for,
think so, too.
As a whole.
I guess I would say stuff like, so I'm not fully dark, because I like Requiem for a Dream. I remember seeing that and thinking, that was a good movie. I never need to see that again.
Oh,
That
that's one of my
really
favorite
bothered me.
questions is what's your favorite one-time watch movie?
Oh, that for
because
sure.
that's a genre of movie I think is great once.
Yeah.
And I will never run
Disturbed
back.
the
But
hell
I
out
think
of
that
me.
is like the quintessential example of that.
Also because Darren Aronofsky grew up where I grew up, like Sheepshead Bay. And I don't know if it's specifically Sheepshead Bay, but down in Brooklyn, and went to the same high school. And like what he depicted, like the old women on lawn chairs outside the buildings, that is exactly my building, like where I grew up. So it hit on so many levels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never need to see it again.
Thank goodness we took care of like the opioid epidemic.
Yep.
Thanks,
Not movie,
Darren,
yeah.
for the
Relevant
awareness.
anymore.
Remember that?
I thought I remember distinctly leaving that and thinking that I will never watch that again. And the depiction of the elderly woman was the most devastating thing I had ever seen in my life, and made me so upset.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, you're
good.
Will not, you
Yeah,
will not.
I
do
wouldn't
well with
survive it.
now.
If you have a TV antenna, the news is close.
Okay.
So just give the news a watch
And play the score.
No, but it is so. Also, I thought Marlon Wayans would be in more after that because he was so good.
I blocked so much of that movie.
Yeah.
So, I remember the lawn chairs, and that's about it.
All right, final one.
Okay.
What is a movie character Michael will say he identifies closely with?
Oh, God.
We know it's not from Star Wars or Requiem for a Dream. Hopefully.
I think maybe.
Big reason, little reason, doesn't have to be.
I think it's whatever that creature from Ice Age is.
Scrat, the squirrel.
Yeah, the squirrel
Fair.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally
Just
fair.
like always, like a little nervous, always after something. Scrappy.
Oh, I wish his name didn't come to me that quickly.
Yeah.
I wish I thought about it or looked it up and didn't know it. But
On tap, ready to go.
Man, I was unfortunately thinking about too many like Woody Allen characters. So
Yeah.
I was like, can I think of anybody besides Woody Allen? I was like, yes, I'll go with the animated squirrel. Thank you.
right, you took the right characteristics of the Woody Allen character and applied them completely outside of the world of associating with
There
him.
we go.
Appreciate it.
Incredible. All right. Well, okay, I love that. All right, we're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back.
That's a good game.
I did bad.
I mean, that is
Movies
such a
we've seen
difficult.
together, and I have no idea what some for those answers.
It's so fun, but
we
I
don't-
know
we
what
see
you will
stuff.
hate. Like,
Yeah,
I knew you would hate Happy Days.
Yeah. Oh, I hate
Some
it.
of I sort of whittled down some other quick questions that we could is rapid fires like do either of you know the movie the other person has seen the most? Do you even know the movie you've seen the most? Because sometimes it's hard to think about. Like for me, I think about it, then I'm like, oh wait, it's The Lion King.
Yeah.
Because like my brother was obsessed with it when he was a kid, and so was I, and so it was just on repeat.
I was thinking Lion King or like Little Mermaid was what
Yeah.
I constantly watched growing
Yeah.
up.
I feel like I know mine. Mine would be probably Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new one.
Just has it on.
I have never seen any of the Ghostbusters.
Wow, really?
Really?
And so this may be something, and people listen, if you're in LA, this may interest you. I went out to try and find some loose wire for a photo shoot for something. I'm going to like the Edinburgh Film Fringe Festival, and so I had to get some pictures taken. We had an idea of a concept, blah, 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 blah. This is so outside of my comfort zone to take a picture where I'm not just looking sad or like sitting still and hating having my photo taken. And a friend of mine who works in props and sets out here, was like, if you need, I was like, I need something that looks like a power line. And he's like, there's a place out in the valley, maybe just past Van Nuys, Sun Valley, I think it's called, that is a big electronics. It's not like it's like a lot where it's bins and this and that and all this stuff. And I could find the name of it. I guess I should. I could find the name of it in 2 seconds, but instead I'll just talk about how I could find the name instead of actually looking anything up. It's called Apex Surplus Corporation in Sun Valley on San Fernando Road. And I go out there, I walk in, and this place is all of the electronics ever that you've seen in a movie.
Huh.
And I'm just like, hey, I'm looking for wire. And he's like, okay. You know what I mean? I walk in this place, and he's like, do you
Hey,
want
Bob, this guy's
so he
looking for
takes
wire.
me over. Yeah, it's like almost like a joke. He's like, yeah, we like, this is Wire, the store. And so he takes me back, and I find exactly the right thing in like a bin of scrap. And then he's like, do you want like a tour? This huge lot. I'm like, yeah, definitely. And he's like, those are some airplanes they used in Fallout. Those are this. And he's showing me all this stuff. And then he goes, we made the proton packs for Ghostbusters.
Whoa.
And there they are right there. They're just sitting on the ground. And they're the actual ones. They weigh like 55 pounds. Wow. Because they didn't know how much they were going to have to wear them, that they were going to become a massive franchise, that all this stuff was going to happen. And so he's like, pick them up. And I don't have the heart to tell this guy I've never seen Ghostbusters, but I still know what the fucking real original proton packs are.
Yeah.
And it's so heavy, and I'm like, this is why Bill Murray was so grumpy. Like, he had to carry this 50 pound. They're all heavy and real, and it's real metal, and it's all made. It is literally a prop technically, but none of it is fake.
Whoa.
It is so heavy. And he's like, the thing they throw to catch them.
Yeah, the trap.
That's there, and it weighs like 20 pounds. That's why it takes like this huge lugging to throw.
Excellent.
And he's just like taking me to all these booths, and you can just go look around this place. They love when people do that. They have because they make their money renting out props. They have every computer ever.
It's like
in
Planet
working
Hollywood,
condition,
but without the food.
It is.
Yeah.
And they're just like, hey, there's you see that? That's the inside of the X-Wing that destroyed the Death Star. There's the lever from the shot. And he's like, it's just on a shelf. And he's like, toggle the lever back and forth if you want to do what Luke did to blow up the Death Star. And he's like, this is all of the...
So they let you just...
touch everything.
Wow,
it all
great.
turns on. They have he's like, any submarine that's ever been in a movie, we have the inside of it here. And he takes me into like a trailer in their big lot and open it, and it all turns on. And it's beep, boop, bop, boop, and all this stuff. And think about like the aesthetic of Fallout and like all these sets and props and everything. And then he's like, this one's a little weird. This is all this is inside Chernobyl. And it's from the miniseries Chernobyl. And he's like, we had to remake the inside of a nuclear reactor in English, because the show is not in Russian.
Yeah.
And so that's why, and then they have all the things and everything. I'm like, this is nuts. And everything was you can like rent the big stuff, but just if you need little props in LA, it's so cheap. And he's like, if you know anyone who's into this, people don't come in here. He's like, normally we work with a studio and they rent a bunch of stuff. I love showing people around. And
That's
it's just
so
a
cool.
guy
You gotta go.
who
Yeah, I'll do
fixes it all.
That's great.
It's
great.
the coolest thing. Every Star Wars movie, all the way up through, he's like, in Rogue One, this is what the map pops out of. And he's like, which Rogue One's my favorite Star Wars thing. He's like, this is the tabletop from Rogue One, and this is that. And I'm like, this is nuts. It's just like a guy, Steve, that makes all of them. And then if you're making a movie, you walk out there and you're like, hey, our movie's in 1972, but it's supposed to be steampunk. And he's like, great, I have a section for that.
Amazing.
And he takes him back to this thing and shows him all this. It's
Incredible.
And then he's like, you wanted wire?
yeah, I know.
There's a Best Buy down the street.
I know. So I just needed one thick wire, and he's like, yeah, we got like a bin.
That's amazing.
And I was just like, I'm in love with things that are hyper that city. And that is such a Los Angeles thing, because it's like the most like romanticized Hollywood sort of, because you can go to Warner Brothers and go to Paramount and they'll tour the lot and show you the finished thing. But this guy made the droids. This is like in the new one, there's the BB-8 that's the orb with the thing, and he's like, that's his original body. And it's just a piece of scrap. It's Steve's business. That's awesome. Because now the BB-8 is huge. They make 1 million of them and out of a mold, but he's like, the original one, to conceptualize what it was, is this round piece of steel on a guy's shelf that's like a little orange and a little white. And I'm just like, that is crazy that you made this. This is like a guy who has like George Lucas in his phone.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And he's just like, he loves it. And he's like, so please go to the Apex is what it's called.
Done.
I don't know
Yeah.
why I don't know how we got talking about this thing.
I don't know, but you did remind me of the movie that I probably watched the most was Jurassic Park.
Oh my God, that's probably up there for me as well.
Yeah.
And I remember it came out the same time as Schindler's List, and with another, Spielberg. And I
double feature.
just didn't understand why everybody was talking about Schindler's List. I'm like, are you seeing Jurassic Park?
That is 2 movies about predators.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow, that is crazy. that's like because he's probably simultaneously developing these movies, and you just picture him sort of like responding to the wrong person about the wrong prop.
Yeah.
And they're just like, I need to bring shaving cream.
Right.
Like, I need a Barbasol can for Liam Neeson. Okay, I'll bring it. Wow. Schindler's List is maybe one of the quintessential one-time watch all-time movies.
Yep.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I just watched it for the first time like 3 years ago, maybe. Yeah, I just never. I was like,
so wild to be like, does it hold up?
Yeah. Didn't really do it for me.
I have.
I didn't.
Yeah.
No, I've never seen it. It's amazing that he put those out together, though. It's like the upper and the downer, right? Like he's like working this like artistic like high of like, now I need to get up a little bit. All right, back to the Raptors. All right, too much.
Yeah.
Back to Liam.
It is wild if he's like, you make one for them, Schindler's List, so you can make one for yourself. Jurassic Park. I got to make that's his. I get to make this for my self-indulgent movie. I don't.
my first Laura Dern movie, I think. Yeah, that turned me
A
on
lot
to
of
Laura Dern.
people's. I think it turned a lot of people on to Laura Dern.
She's so
in
good in
any
that.
capitalization
I was like,
of
she's
turn and on.
actually an incredible actress.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, they're very Jurassic Park at this point. I mean, that's at any given point that is up there for my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
The first Jurassic Park.
Guess that would have been better than Happiness.
It's yeah.
I mean, but I waver. You waver from like, is your favorite movie? How does it move you? You know what I mean? I don't think it seems impossible to just have one, because are those the same thing? Jurassic Park and Happiness? They're both movies.
No,
but it's like that's there's different types of
Gives you a different
food
feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
that you
What you're
can't
in the
really
mood
compare
for.
the
Yeah.
foods.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
they're-
just Happiness. I mean, what it's about. It's like the script has to be so ridiculously tight to pull that off.
Yeah.
And like the acting. I mean, and I thought they did.
I'm sure they did. I just watched the whole thing like this. Come on.
Not for
It was,
everyone.
it was so intense. But I'm too. I don't do well with that stuff.
just if it's very
If it's traumatic, if it's just like heart wrenching and like just awful, I just like it's just too much.
I love it.
Like,
like get me out of my
make me
head.
feel the worst I can
Yeah.
feel, and it's not my fault for a little bit, please.
Except if something is so traumatic, then I'm like, I
it makes you
really
run into a wall.
didn't need to see that.
Yeah.
that makes me exactly.
I watched this movie. I really hit a wall. Like what like emotionally. The rest of the time, I suppose.
Dear Zachary was that movie for me that I was like, oh my, why did they go through with this?
Yeah.
Are you familiar?
I'm not.
I've never seen
Is that
it.
recent?
No.
No.
I'm not thinking of it. At all.
Like 10 years ago. It's a documentary that I'm like, by the end, you're like, why did they make that? It was the most disturbing thing.
I only know it because of how people say the title.
Yes.
And the
Dear
emotional,
Zachary.
like, there's a real weird spin. I go, I don't know
Dear
that.
Zachary.
No, just their like eyes and their tone just go away. And you're like, oh, you've been through something rough.
I need like a 12-step program to like get that
Yeah.
out of my head, what that movie did. Yeah.
I at this point have such a tough time with documentaries. I don't know if it's because of like a massive flood of them or anything like that. But now I'm just like, I get too sad too easily.
Yeah.
With pretty much every documentary.
That's how I felt with Love. Was it Love Wins? The one.
Oh, the Mother God?
Yes, Mother God. Because I'm a sucker for cult documentaries if done well. That one, the first one, I was like intrigued. The second one, I was like, I can't finish this.
I think I might have seen that one actually. Cult stuff, it is crazy that I'm like, I feel a bigger distance from cult things than I do what I call like poor porn, which is like where they go to some podunk town in the Midwest and talk to someone about their kid that disappeared and then kind of like not make fun of them, but I'm like, are you making a ton of money off of this sort of thing?
Yeah.
And the one I really struggled with was the girl who just got out of jail, who's from Missouri, who killed her mom.
Killed her mom, yeah.
What is her name?
Gypsy Rose.
Gypsy
Gypsy
Rose
Rose,
Blanton. Because I'm just like, none of this feels good, and the only person who looks like they made money is like a BuzzFeed writer who like sold this whole. I couldn't watch the fictionalized version. I'm from Missouri. My girlfriend's from the literal town, and her family knows that. Like it's like very close, and I'm just like, I don't know. Sometimes that stuff, cult stuff, I feel like I have a degree of separation, even though those are just the same people getting caught up in this stuff. I just feel a little bit more distance from it than when they're just like, can you believe these trailer park idiots had it hard?
Right.
Anyways, here's like me and the person who really, the guy who made the Jinx, I cannot remember his name.
Jarecki.
Michael Jarecki.
Andrew Jarecki.
Andrew Jarecki
Yeah.
is so frustrating to me. Because
He made a complete career off of one.
He made a complete career off of withholding evidence from the police about a murderer and almost letting him get away if the murderer wasn't so dumb he got himself caught again. And I'm just like, well, this is why. That guy, I think, made me so hyper aware that people make documentaries. I mean, obviously they always have, but he made me so aware of the agenda that documentary filmmakers seem to have not all of them, who knows? But I feel like there's a lot of money in the crime stuff right now.
Oh my God.
And a lot of
It's
people getting
nonstop.
very excited to make money off of it.
Yeah.
And I think it's that guy's fault that when I'm watching them, I'm like, what are they trying to get out of this? Like, who are they showing to me? Why are they showing me this person? Like, I'm just like, I watch just any of them, and the cult, that's why, but like the cult stuff feels a little faker to me, even though I know it's not.
Yeah.
I think because there's definitely a part of me that I'm like, oh, I would definitely,
Right.
You know, like it would take me a few episodes in to realize, oh, I'm in the wrong place.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I've totally been swayed.
Yeah. I think I get a little defensive about mocking poor redneck people too.
Well, Gypsy Road, you reminded me. That story did inspire me to my favorite drag queen name I ever came up with was Munchausen My Boxy. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to say that on your podcast.
I have always sat on anonymity as mine. If I as
that's
a drag
good.
name,
That's
I'm
good.
just like, but that is so funny. I mean, I don't even know. It is such an insane story that I'm like, I'm on her side, I guess. I'm on no one's side.
Yeah.
This all feels and then she's like getting out of jail, and I'm like, I think she can have a really hard life because everyone's going to try and get money out of her, and she doesn't know how to be an adult. Like, it is so wild.
Never had a childhood. Yeah.
Oh,
Crazy.
Munchausen My Boxy.
Yeah. There you go.
Is so
Now it's out
funny.
there.
There's a pretty substantial drag scene in Springfield, Missouri,
Really?
and that would, I mean, you would run the scene.
I
with
feel
that
like-
name in an hour.
I feel like, well, I in my head, the whole act is just a 30-second act with like me in a nurse's costume, pushing around somebody dressed in a vagina costume in a wheelchair, just saying, my pussy's sick, please.
Man.
And that's all it is. Yeah.
I was picturing like such an on the nose gypsy garb with a rose.
That's the other way to do it too. Yep. I mean, there could really be a whole evening devoted to the day.
There really
It's in
could.
the middle of a drag show. There's fabulous numbers. There's like music. There's lights, and then Munchausen comes out, and there's no song.
No
There's just a
song.
nurse just pushing a giant vagina around.
And it just leaves
Oh,
everybody.
I mean, there could be like Nurse. Was it
Wanting
Nurse
less.
Ratchet from
Yeah.
one? I mean,
Yeah.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. There's your aesthetic. It's
Terrific.
yeah.
that's so funny.
There you go.
Well, hey, we're getting to the end.
On that note,
We've got to play a couple games here real quick. Actually, what time are we looking at right now? 56 minutes. 56 minutes? Yeah, we'll do it here. All right, this first game we're going to play is called Before and Afters.
Get ready to play before and afters.
Absolutely wild how much I want to take credit for that drag name. Just don't even put this episode out. Start putting that out there immediately. All right, this is Before and Afters. How it works is two movies have been smashed together into one. I will read you the plot, the smashed together plot. You have to tell me the smashed together title. For instance, Girl Interstellarupted,
Okay.
which is I like using that one today because it's the level of reach most of them are. Saving Private Silverman, Wolf of Wall Street. Those are some other
Great,
examples. Not all clean portmanteaus. Some are like before, during, and then before again. Like it's all
got it.
smashed together in a haphazard way. that looks like I'm trying to like develop an AI bot or something.
I think I heard one flew hangover the cuckoo.
One hangover to the cuckoo's nest. What do we have today? I mean, there's probably a lot with Eyes Wide Shut that I can't think of right now, but I feel like those words come up.
Yeah.
Snake Eyes Wide Shut. There's one. I'll fill in more later. You notice in post I had 100 more to make it look like I'm really good at
And you
riffing.
just keep putting our laughs in.
Just like Comedy Central presents studio laughter piped in. Here we go. You can work together or you can compete against one another. It's up to you.
Oh, we love competing.
Number 1. With the 4 elemental nations at war, an Avatar realizes he has the power to control all of the elements, and to try and end the war, he teams up with a dog that plays basketball.
Yeah. I mean, The Last Airbudner would be my...
The Last Airbudner is correct.
Wow. All right.
Okay. It
that
took more
was-
to blow that horn than I thought it would. This children's musical instrument kit.
to go, that is correct. And then the saddest little, like you sat on a small
I know.
dog.
I heard the air hitting the microphone before the horn. Now that I know the level,
Nobody
it makes, it's a
won
little bit
today.
different. I don't even know why they made it look like the duck, because the horn comes out the bottom
Yeah.
of it. We'll do the xylophones back. There we go. Next one. An eccentric ship captain must save a governor's daughter and track down a cursed coin by entering a portal literally into the mind of a famous actor.
Being Captain John Phillips Malkovich.
An eccentric ship captain must save a governor's daughter and track down a cursed coin by entering a portal literally into the mind of a famous actor.
Is it Bean Captain Ron Malkovich?
I don't even know what that is. Captain Ron?
Isn't Captain Ron a Kurt Russell movie?
Yes.
Maybe.
Where he's an eccentric ship captain and I don't know the rest of it.
They're always hunting down some sort of coin.
An eccentric ship captain
That's why I thought Captain
must
Phillips.
save must save a what? Can you read it one more
Must
time?
save a governor's daughter and track down a cursed coin by entering a portal literally into the mind of a famous actor. This one's a
idea.
pretty clean portmanteau, I'll say.
An eccentric ship captain.
And it ends with being John Malkovich. Unbearable.
No, but that one would be nice. We're looking
It's a being John
for
Malkovich.
Pirates of the Caribbean, John Malkovich.
Okay.
I just didn't want to say pirate in the description.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
fair,
Too
fair.
close.
Yep.
I like that everyone
Captain
agrees
Phillips.
with that. Everyone agrees with the production of this one.
You absolutely should have said that.
This gets contentious sometimes where people just like, oh, you're not doing this right. And I'm like, yeah, no, this is dumb.
Yeah. I'm not going to fight you. Yeah. It's your show, man.
We're not this away from this. All right, here we go. These get, I would say, we're firmly on the rails now, but if you've ever played like the Donkey Kong games where you're in the little cart, we're about to be like off the rails like that.
Let's go.
That we know.
A detective believes a human-like robot may have killed the U.S. robotic founder, and the case leads him to a fight club started by 2 high school girls. Perfect portmanteau.
I know the second one.
A detective believes a human-like robot may have killed the U.S. robotic founder, and the case leads him to a fight club started by 2 high school girls, which a movie I didn't see, but then I read the plot, and I love the 2 leads.
It was
I'm
a
like,
great
I need
movie.
to see this.
I think I'm just all wrong.
If this
I
one
know.
wasn't in here, it would have been on the board. That's how good of a title it is.
Okay.
I know Bottoms is the second half. Great movie.
A detective believes a human-like robot may have killed the U.S. robotics founder.
Robottoms?
You're very close.
Robocop Bottoms?
Robocotoms? Robotomacops?
Yeah.
We were looking for iRobottoms.
Yes.
iRobottoms. iRobot, that movie just left our brains.
Yeah.
Because it's
Completely.
come up a few times in here, and I don't know if anyone has ever remembered it.
Until you just said it, I was like, oh yeah, that was a movie.
And I think we all saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
I
was
saw it.
It It was a good Will Smith vehicle. Mm-hmm. I liked it.
There was that, and then like AI and Bicentennial Man, like all that one,
and all
like,
the robots
big
look the
push.
same.
Yeah,
like the sort of a modern Tin Man.
yep.
Terminator 2.
Next one. A man is hypnotized by a self-help guru. So this is a horrible title. So he can only see the inner beauty of people, and he gets caught up in a love triangle with a tennis coach and her husband.
One more time.
A man is hypnotized by a self-help guru, so he can only see the inner beauty in people, and he gets caught up in a love triangle with a tennis coach and her husband.
I know the second one.
I know the first one. Shallow Hal.
Shallow Hallingers.
Shallow Hallingers is correct.
Great. Have you seen Challengers?
I have not seen Challengers. I've been out of town here a little bit. And
It is a ride.
I got to A-list
loved it
my
so
way up
much.
to that one.
Yeah.
I love the...
Everybody who knows tennis hates it because it just makes no sense, they say, but I don't. And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is a
I'm sorry.
goddamn blast.
I know I know tennis. Your sports scoring counts like that, and you're going to tell people your movie's inaccurate. Your sport goes 0, 15, 30, 40, tie, backwards tie. That doesn't work.
No.
First to 7, win by 2 unless it's tied at 6. This isn't how you're not allowed to like complain about how sport works. It's the most confusing sport. It's so confusing.
I agree.
It's fun though.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
I want the same
see
movie but pickleball.
Yep.
yeah.
The same
But
movie,
they're all
the
old.
straight to DVD, where they're
Same
all
rhythm.
old.
Yeah.
Who was Zendaya in like 1970? Get that actor
Yeah.
now. All right, final one. A man starts showing up in millions of people's dreams, including that of an FBI agent working with a task force to aid in the drug war near the border.
Dreams to Narcos.
Close.
So
But a confident run into it. I was like,
right into the wall.
it made me reread this. I was
Yeah.
like, I might have been wrong. Also, that would work, but no TV.
Dream Sicario.
Dream Sicario, which is a hard plot to do a movie justice, I guess. To just be like, it's about the drugs, but it is.
Never seen Sicario.
Congratulations on the before and afters there.
Dream Sicario is a great.
It sounds great,
name,
right?
yeah.
I think they were good titles today. The Last Airbutter. I love Shallow Hallingers.
Yep.
Shallow Hallingers.
I got to give a shout out to the titles today were actually written by fans of the podcast on Discord. Cheez-Its Christ Bubs, Occam's Frasier, which is a great name.
Excellent.
And Rocky, thank you for those titles. And Rocky, also thank you for Girl Interstellarupted, which is on the board today.
Great.
If you want to submit titles, I'll write the plots to them. Or if you want to play before and afters against a little AI bot that someone made on the Discord, go to fart.kyleayers.com. That'll link you to the Discord.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah. I mean,
can say
can you
that.
believe it? The SEO is unmatched. The search engine optimization of that website. Well, I had it as discord.kyleayers.com, and people like couldn't quite figure that out. And I was like, what's a word I know will sound exactly like the word
Yep.
that is very, and I'm not buying a whole nother website. So go on there, but thank you everyone, and you can play before and afters, all of them in the history of the show. You can play against the robot on there. Our final game that we're going to play today is called Guess What Movie Kyle's Dad is Describing, having only watched the trailer and never having heard of the movie The Game. And we'll do the first one I sent you. Okay. So how this works, how my dad describes movie trailer to any movie ever. He writes down what's happening in the trailer. He reads back his description. You have to guess what movie it's a trailer for.
Excellent.
All right, here we go.
Okay. He's rubbing his eyes, talking about someone he's known since he joined the force. Murder, arson, kidnapping. This guy says the other guy is the most dangerous and brilliant mind he's ever known. He knows every tick, move, gesture, and now he's finally found a way to trap him. Boom! Now tones of quick shots of guns, bad sunglasses, fights on boats, an airplane driving into a giant closed hangar, a fight in prison. Is this entire trailer just action shots? Okay, here's some words. He doesn't care if he lives. The other guy says to try terrorism, they can blow stuff up together. Now the plan is to just kill each other. Gunshot and trailer over.
Wow, that is a hard
Wow.
one.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Wow.
I can't even. I know the answer, and I can't think of the biggest clue in that.
I have like a couple ideas, but I don't know if any of them are right.
Well, let me pick up the duck horn.
My brain jumped at first. I mean, it feels like it's maybe one of the Fast and Furious movies, and then I was like, "Is it?" And then Gone in 60 Seconds popped in my head, but I was like, "It's not that," because he wants to live. And then I was like, "Is it Face Off?"
It is Face Off.
Whoa. That is impressive. I never would have thought Face
Wow.
Off.
Getting there, that's a walk to remember that you took. That is incredible.
I was like Mission Impossible, like just the big action movie.
What narrowed it down?
I think it was the beginning of like he's the most dangerous guy ever, and all the guns, and then the action, something about the plane and the boat, and I don't know, just something about it. I was
Yeah.
like, and then I think my brain kept going to Nicolas Cage for some reason.
Yeah, Gone in 60 Seconds,
Yeah.
but when he's like this.
And then
Incredible.
they had to go together. They had to fight together, and then
Yeah.
they didn't care. He didn't care if he died, and I don't know.
The next evolution in body swap movies, Face Off.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, your dad did a good job.
Yeah. Apparently.
Well, that's it for us today. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Michael, thank you for being here and having never seen Eyes Wide Shut.
Thank you for having me.
Let everyone know about shows you got coming up and where to find you online and everything like that.
Yes. So I'm doing my solo show. It's a comedy solo show about basically, I was writing a show about my anxiety during the pandemic and got and really wanted a dog at the time, like just like a cute, cuddly, lazy lap dog. My husband and I ended up adopting a 75-pound anxious German Shepherd. And I'm like, oh, the show wants to be from her perspective dealing with me. So
Oh,
I play the dog.
that sounds amazing.
And
it's fantastic.
quite fun, quite
Yeah.
fun. And it's all about me trying to put up the show about my dog as the world is literally ending.
Yeah.
So that goes up at Dynasty Typewriter on Tuesday, May 21st at 7:30 p.m. And then I'm doing it in New York for 2 weekends at the Brick Theater in Brooklyn, in Williamsburg. And you could get tickets at bricktheater.com. And that's May 23rd to the 26th and May 30th to June 1st.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I'm at Michael J Feldman on Instagram.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
I've never seen it.